Hi, it's me, Jasmine, once again. Hope you have amazing days. In today's video, I'm going to share with you about amazing Montfort Fortress. Montfort Fortress is a national park with a medieval archaeological site and the remains of a Crusader fortress from the days of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. The ancient and breathtaking fortress is built in front of a perfect view on a narrow and steep spar on the south bank of the Nahal Tiv Gorge in the Upper Galilee, near Kibbutz Ayalon, about 13 kilometers from Nahariya and about 6 kilometers north of Maalot, Tarshiha. A visit to Montfort Fortress National Park is recommended for families and children. During the day, we visited the ancient and magical fortress, enjoy spectacular forest views of the mountains of the Western Galilee and the wonderful Tiv stream that flows beneath it. The route that reaches the fort itself is at a relatively easy level of difficulty and is recommended for all ages. On the other hand, you should arrive with comfortable walking shoes as the terrain is somewhat mountainous and it is not accessible for baby strollers. Montfort Fortress rises on the southern bank of Nahal Tiv, a bit north of Mitzpe Hila. It got its name from the phrase Montfort in French, which means strong mountain. The fortress itself is built at the top of a steep spar that descends from Nahal Tiv from the south. The spar rises 180 meters above the stream channel and is protected in three directions by deep channels, leaving easy access to the fort only from the east, where its builders cut it off from the spar with a deep moat carved into the rock. The fortress itself was built during the Crusades to Israel, a period when crusaders from all over Europe came to Israel intending to conquer it from its Muslim rulers, which began at the beginning of the first millennium and ended with the famous Horns of Hattin battle, where Muslim forces under the command of Saladin defeated the Crusaders and marked the beginning of the decline of the Crusader Empire in Israel. After the defeat of the Crusaders at the Battle of Karnei Hittin, 1187, the fortress fell to the hands of Saladin, but the Crusaders eventually recaptured it. In 1220, members of the Teutonic German Order purchased it, established their headquarters there, and rebuilt the strong fortress whose impressive remains are seen today. Montfort itself was established not necessarily as a strategic position in the Crusaders' war against the Muslim enemies, but mainly as a refuge for the knights of the Teutonic Order from the attacks of members of the other Christian orders that ruled Acre or Ako at the time. Montfort Fortress is isolated and far from the major roads, making it lacks any real strategic importance, and it was not really designed to withstand any battle or prolonged siege. Around the fort were built many farms and flour mills that were part of the agricultural ecosystem in the area at the time. In 1266, the Mamluk Sultan Baybars arrived at the gates of Montfort. Baybars laid siege to the fort, but the Teutonic Knights defended their estate and forced the Mamluk invaders to retreat as they came. 5 years later, after conquering most of the Crusaders' strongholds in the Galilee, including Nimrod Fortress, Baibars returned to the Montfort fortress, this time accompanied by several engineering battalions from his armies. He imposed a siege that lasted 7 days on the fort, during which the Sultan's soldiers breached the outer southern wall of the fort and allowed the Mamluk's forces to enter it. At this point, the Teutonic Knights signed a surrender agreement and were allowed to return to Acre or Akko with their treasures, including an extensive archive, which serves today as an important source for knowledge of the history of the land of Israel during the Crusader period. After being evacuated, the Mamluk Sultan ordered the destruction of the fortress to prevent the Crusaders from settling it again. Much of the fort was completely destroyed, and only the well-fortified fort tower subdued the Mamluk destroyers and remained largely intact. Getting to Montfort Fortress, you need to get to the place, take Road 89 Nahria to Maalot, and follow the signs to the village of Maalia. Pass the village with the main road and exit on the other side. Continue a bit and reach the gate, Mitzpe Hila, from where there are signs for the starting point of the route. You can park near the starting point, from where we will continue with a trail marked with a red trail marker, which will lead us right up to the front. The walk on the trail is about 1 kilometer long. It is easy and pleasant and done on a wide and neat path under the shade of a cylindrical grove. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.